How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm good.
Great.
You?
I'm grateful. Welcome to a new episode of Joywithin podcast. I'm Indra, and today's special guest is Aquila Ashby. Aquila is, first of all, she's a good singer, beautiful singer. Second, she is a teacher at Windsor High School, and she's also the founder and director of the Conquerors on Stage Performing Arts program. So, Aquila, thanks so much for setting aside the time to meet with me today and to share your expertise and your insight and maybe about the program and stuff with the listeners. So, welcome.
Hi, everyone. Thank you very much, Angel, for having me.
Oh, welcome.
I would say being a past member of the Youth Achieving Results program, which was a collaboration, I think, years ago between the Ministry of Education and NCF. They would structure programs which would have catered to the arts to help students. And I was one of those who was intrigued by it. Even though I really wanted to just sign up to be a dancer, I was then pushed into singing.
Okay.
And then it actually inspired me to, why not try learning every aspect of the arts? And then by becoming a teacher, I always had this passion for children and for the youth. I said, I won't feel comfortable performing and dancing and stuff. And then there's so many talented young people around me and they don't have this opportunity. Because sometimes when people hear the arts, they think about expense. They think about, I can't afford to go to this particular academy or whatever the case may be. So we said, you know what? Why not try to structure a program within the school curriculum that give the children that access for it, where that, you know what, they can do it as an extracurriculum activity after school. We're able to have professionally trained people such as yourself or others. Like we have people like David Burnett, we have Randy Eastman who does the bookings for most of their gigs that they have. We have talented professional artists who also take their time to come and see these amazing gems. But I've started it as a camp last year in July. And I said, you know what, let me see how it goes first as a camp. So it was like an arts camp. You do abstract art, and then you still learn different areas of the culinary art, sport, poetry, dance, be it conga, funk. And then we said, you know what, let's see if we can improvise it with some drumming so that for the boys, they still have some musical instrumental aspect to it. And then not knowing that by doing the camp, it would have been so successful that by December of 2019, they were already booked for 3 shows. Ministry of Education. They did all of the Ministry of Education lunchtime concerts. Big thanks to Randy Eastman again. They would have done the first one at Queen's Park, which was a lunchtime concert. They did a dance piece. The girls were able to not just be seen with fame, but to actually be announced now publicly. So it was wrecking for them. But when they got confident being seen by more people, they was like, I got this. I got this. And after seeing their costumes and the way they presented themselves, he was like, you could get them ready for another concert. You could get them ready. And then I was like, yeah. It inspired me to see that after being inspired by artists that I was around and I was professionally trained by, not able to give persons that equal opportunity, that's a blessing in itself. I believe as an artist, even though, yes, your talent is within, that's your own special unique trait, it's good to give back. It's good to help others who really need it the most, and especially with the youth, that's a positive way to keep their minds occupied. Stuff like that.
That's beautiful, and that's so true about access.
Thinking, can't afford it, and sometimes some arts academies are a bit pricey, but at the end of the day, we also collab, whenever there are big events, we come together as one. But for children that are now coming into different traits of the arts, they may be kind of like, I'm not sure because mom have to still do a school, so can I afford this thing? So parents were very wowed by it to see, well, you know what, I don't even have to look outside now. It's happening right there at school. So sure, they stay back and participate. Sure. And then when they are seeing all of these amazing pictures with them performing, I had a parent when they performed so well at awards. They were even invited from the Ministry of Health. After they were seen at the Ministry of Education, they usually do Warren's Polyclinic event. The school usually has a connection with them. So every year, Round Health Month, they always call the school and ask. So then I was able to introduce the program, and they were like, sure. So they did from spoken word to poetry to songs, and then the girls were able to still dance. So they learned every different aspect, and then it comes together as a production for them. So then after that, they went to Bush Hall Community Center, and they were able to share the stage with professional like Dance in Africa, Israel Level Foundation. So they were shocked within a 4 months span. That's Israel Level Foundation. That's Dance in Africa. Like we on the same stage as them, and to see people like Tyrone Trumpman, big thanks to him. He even comes alongside sometimes and assists. Even though I may dance with another academy, they still support that I'm doing a program for the children.
Yes, that's wonderful. How many children are in the program? Or
right now, we have like 16, and sometimes it is fluent because sometimes it will be who is advanced versus those who are beginning. So what I do, I try to split the group where that the advanced help the beginners. So if it's a big production, I don't leave on anybody. I believe that if you're capable and you can try once you rehearse well, I still give you that chance to shine like everybody else. So it wouldn't be like, oh, only the advanced always going and what's not. So we have 16, but it is flexible. I give them an option where that they choose the genre they love.
Okay.
That they love. But I still let them know when there are shows that will like particular stuff. You have to come together now and learn maybe all. Where if you were a drummer, you still might assist in doing a dramatical piece. If you are a dancer, you might still have to assist in doing a spoken word. And I said, even though you may not like it, because I'm telling you, when I did mine years ago, I was like, I just want to dance. But then I saw the blessing learning other things, because then you now could get called for singing, you could get called to do it, and they will see that you're versatile. And it is key too, because that brands you as an artist.
And do they get to get involved in the behind the scenes, because y'all have stage productions, costumes?
Right. Yes. So what I did for the first time they did their first production, they would have make their own showcase, as in that they were able to go with me when I booked the stage from NCF. Able to see how to set up a stage. They learn how to do backdrops. They know how to do lighting. They actually try to structure their own stage outlines. Who's going on first? Who's going on last?
The running order.
Yeah, and they did the running order. They also did basic things behind how to assist the audience from where not to go, who's to come in, guest list. They were able to see. And what I started doing too, when I have like private seminars where I would have to get bookings for them, when I meet with people like Tyrone or even Calvin Carvalho, I say, you know what? Sometimes I will surprise them and say, okay, come, let's go to this event. So, now they think, oh, I got to perform. So when they come and see this platform with all of these people, they were actually able to sit down and see behind the scenes how the planning goes, how the events goes. And then they actually to see who I actually work with outside of getting the bookings to get an idea with. So one of the students was like so quiet, like, wow, you do all of this? I said, y'all think it's possible. You have to know who to speak to. You have to carry yourself well. And it was to even challenge them having been asked questions on the spot. Or something like that. So I purposely did it. They felt tormented in the beginning, but they were so wowed by it that when other artists were asking them what they think about the future, what they like, They were like, boom, boom, boom. And I was shocked. And
Mm-hmm.
Ty was impressed because we was like, we're not telling them. Just tell them they're coming to a normal
Mm-hmm.
culture event. So when they saw how people plan, how stuff is structured, they was like, oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Give them that boost.
Yeah, and it would also like educate them on the behind the scenes of the business,
Exactly.
because you look at the singer on stage or the band and stuff and don't really study that they got engineers, they have stage
Exactly.
managers, stage crew, tech, lighting, so they kind of
Yeah.
so that's
It's
really,
good.
really
And
good.
then it would give them that kind of trait to even learn for themselves. Because
Yeah.
what when I was also in the programs years ago, it structured you to know, because sometimes as an artist something can go wrong, and then it gives you that top notch to say, well, I know what that string is, I know what that is, okay, I can still go on.
Yeah.
You know, people can still go on because at least your skills were developed and enough to say, well, behind the scenes. So even though I'm the artist, I can still pitch in and say, I know how to fix this.
Mm-hmm.
So that they have the idea of knowing behind the scenes and not always in front. So I get a little leverage to be behind the scenes now and in front.
So tell me about I remember when I was at the school, I visited school the first time.
Mm-hmm.
You always tell me there was a stage production that some of the children wrote, production that y'all did.
Yes, this was their first, because what I did, like I said, I started it as just a camps, performing arts camp,
Mm-hmm.
before like an academy or a program. I said, you know what, let me challenge with things. So this first show was for the parents to see how the whole 6 weeks or so of vacation, what they did. So they came together and structured their own production. So I said, it doesn't make any sense me just writing stuff for you. I challenged them in script writing, I challenged them in songwriting. So they were like, oh, this is going to be a tough one. So they actually, the thing is, as much as they thought it was going to be hard, by coming together as a group collectively, it just started to flow. So they call the first thing the bullying thing. And that kind of dramatical piece was basically they demonstrating to the audience, which would have been their parents and yes, family guests and what's not, about how they as students feel when peer pressure comes in, how they're usually attacked. So it was and what better for them to do it, because if they're experienced it, they will be able to flow better.
Yeah.
So I just helped them in terms of the editing and stuff. And then from then, no, every time there's a drama piece, sometimes I just be like, what I can do? Mom, you already got something. Read it.
Mm-hmm.
They're so inspired by it now, they're more confident to share what there was a event that was supposed to come up for Spirit of the Nation, some kind of a dramatical, so they wanted to be a part of that. And I was so shocked where the younger ones that are like only in year 1 and 2, and they are dancers and dramatists, but they actually came to the class and they showed me this big long piece of paper, 2 pages of a script. And I was like, wow. And I mean, it was humorous, it was fun. And I mean, it was a sense of showing back then versus now, the challenges, like, wow. So it really shows that the arts push you and structure your skills on your expectations.
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean, look, Rashania and Atalia, they were the 2 that were always scared. They would not even have gone on a stage. I'm telling you, be it dance, be it drumming, anything. And then after they saw how especially I guess the tears of joy from their production and stuff like that, I said, maybe that will best boost them. And then, wow, they just was like, I got this. No, I can't even get Atalia off her stage. No, Rashania always writing and she using a lot of, Bajan slang and all
Right.
and I'm like, whoa, whoa, whoa. The rest everyone is actually improving. They have improved in terms of the girls. We have girls now who would have never hit a drum, and now they are drummers now. They just did before school was closed, they did their last production was a collaboration with Milton Lynch Primary with the boys. So the girls went and drum with boys, then still turn around and dance. And I was like, wow, all right, do your thing.
So because they already have no on-stage experience, obviously have experience with the discipline of rehearsals, which, as you know, could get rehearsals could get real intense depending on
Oh
who's
my
there.
gosh.
So how they adapted to that?
They usually say drills, call me the drill sergeant, because it's like I go into serious mode, because by the end of the day, to get bookings and stuff, you want to still make sure that our booking are greatly pleased with what they are receiving.
Yeah.
And then, they're children, so you have them with their, say, they get distracted easily. And then they don't know how to it's like, oh, girl, I'm glad you showed me that. So, the phones just go missing. Like the drill sergeant kicks in and the phones go missing. The phones literally be like, oh God, the phones go missing. So then, so when we are starting rehearsals, I always like to include God in everything, because I believe that that's the source of every blessing that we could possibly get.
Amen.
As it is an art, I always tell them these talents, they just come by themselves. So I always try to do a personal development in every genre where they either hold hands or learn to pray for each other. And I always say, it doesn't matter who you may not get along with, but once you're doing anything in this program, we will show respect, love towards each other. And I find that it brings about a sisterhood, because the ones that you would never expect to chill together, when you see them perform, you'll be like so amazed. They actually do understand the concept of it. So when into the seriousness of rehearsing, I have to keep being patient. It takes a lot of patience, trust. Because sometimes you'll be like, listen. I mean, if a pin drop, you just see heads. I'll be like, listen. But then when they get to the grand rehearsal, I don't know, it's like real, like when we gotta get this right, and I see them actually pushing and making the effort, I'd be like, wow, they're really serious about this. But it takes a lot of endurance and patience, understanding the different personalities.
Yeah.
In itself, you have to understand, because you may have some that may get it quick, and then you have the particular one that you have to constantly keep going over. But I always say to them, in front of all of them, no man is left behind. So I'm going to push you till you get it, because I don't want, like I said, even though you will have an advanced class and then a beginner's class and then ones in between, I still make the ones that are now starting to say, look where you can get. And I always tell the ones that are out there to humble themselves. Ever get too proud, full of pride, because the ones that you may be thinking that no beginning could come now and blow you out of your It just shows about humility. Humility brings about grace and peace to understand your inner self. So I tell them, get it right. Always find ways to push yourself. Still practice at home. Don't always wait to rehearsals, Find a personal space that makes you feel calm. Remove anything that, that could probably set off a different tone to distract you. And then I find that it gives them that better positive energy to perform. And if you make mistakes, the acting part come in, don't know how to shibby does and then go break. So only us that know the pieces and stuff will say, but they are learning that, okay, you don't just stop and make it obvious to the audience. You just keep going.
That's right. That's good. So learning discipline with a timing, with the art, with a gift, really. Same thing like you're saying. That's really good. So what message would you share with, with any, like, say, parents who realize they have creatively inclined children, how they could support them while still balancing, all the other stuff that they still have to make sure that they focus?
Well, I would say to parents, never restrain their talents. When I say that, I mean it like, okay, we usually push education. Education is key. But then when you see a child always beating up something and going in a particular tempo, you know, all right, drumming in them, you know. They may not just be licking up the things because I frustrated in the house and they look and try to observe your child's talent and skills and see how best you can develop them. If any given chance that you may not be able to afford particular academies, there are also very talented tutors on YouTube online that you could even pitch in and try and spend that one-on-one time or give them the opportunity to follow the person to develop that skill to then maybe them themselves can then say, let me try going on my own to a particular academy to further develop these skills. But always find ways to enhance their creativity, enhance their skills, because you never know. It's like up to me, I see it as a plan B, C, D, and going down the alphabet, because even as school works, but then there's something that they're passionate about, they can even get another extra income off of that very skill.
Yeah.
Never limit or restrict them just to one thing. Always let them explore and explore their options of their own art.
Sweet. Okay, just well, in closing for real, because you know we could just go on, but I want to make sure that we keep recording. Did you always know that you wanted to be in the arts and that you wanted to teach, or did one come before the other?
To be honest, I was just thinking maybe just the arts. And similar to what I would have said in terms of addressing the parents, I was mostly pushed to be the book person, university, community college. I studied management. I did international business. I would have worked in managerial coordinating and stuff. But I love it from aspect, but then there's that spark within that was like, I like something that keeps me moving, like a groove or rhythm. I can't survive without music. I can't survive without hearing something that is artsy, if you get me. If I see a drawing, be like, ooh, maybe if I try that. Might not look just like that, but that's me.
Something's gonna come.
That was me. I was like, okay, you need to shift and keep going in that area of the arts. So I guess every disappointment is a blessing. I would have worked at Ozone, and then one that was laid off, and then I said, okay, this management thing, like, it not really cutting it right now. What should I do? And my prayer was always about still doing something with the youth, still finding ways to give back with the youth. And little did I know I would have received a call to be a teacher. So then I was like, oh, so that's how the Lord is doing it.
Yeah.
So when you look at it, that's why I would still encourage everybody to always do management, always do their educational background, because then that aligns you now to direct and to enhance your own business, because you already sold in that knowledge. So I was like, oh, I need to be in the arts, but I had to endure the UE and the BCC and still had opportunity to be a marketing coordinator, events coordinator. But it was to really give me that oomph to just say, do it for youth, do it to be able to structure something for the youth. So that's how it ended up working out for me.
Yeah, he's faithful.
Yes.
Wonderful. Well, on that sweet note, I want to say thank you so much, Aquila, for setting aside this time, for sharing your insight, your experience, your career journey, and to let us celebrate the youth too. That's beautiful.
Yes.
And that's wonderful what you're doing. Like you said, it's important to make sure you're planting seeds, for yourself, but also planting seeds for others so that when they come, there's veg and fruit there too. And they can find that veg and fruit in themselves too. So that's beautiful. Let us know if you want to, where people can connect with you directly, if you want to share, or if you want them to go to the Conquerors on Stage Performing Arts program on IG, on Instagram.
Sure. So what you guys can do is you can go to the Conquerors on Stage Performing Arts program IG page. There's also a YouTube channel that the students have started to create it, so you will be able to see how it all started. So you can go and subscribe and support these talented, amazing students. We're also trying to find different ways for open into the public rather than not just being within the school. Like, who's ever interested in learning these extra, be it drama, be it vocal training, be it drumming, both conga and track. Then they are also doing dance from African, modern, funk, jazz. And now there's an additional program that I'm planning to start, because I find that the boys feel kind of left out, even though they're drumming, may have some talented athletes. So later on in the future, I will try to structure a sports program where that you have professional people come in and train now in the different areas of sports. So support us, Conquerors on stage. So then the sports program will probably be Conquerors off stage, because it will be like a few. Conquerors on stage will be those who on stage and who perform on stage, and Conquerors off stage will cater for those amazing athletes. We started track and field. We're doing football and stuff, so we just wait and see how things go in the future, and then see how we can structure that for the boys.
Beautiful. And for y'all listening, I will get the links and I'm going to post them in the description. So this will be a podcast episode, obviously, because you're listening to it now, but go on to itsjoywithin.com, because I will transcribe as much nuggets as possible and put what Aquila shared here. Thanks so much on that note.
Thank you.
Enjoy the rest of your day, girl.
You too. Bye. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Right.
Bye.
How you doing?
I'm good. You?
I'm grateful. Hot, but grateful.
Oh, telling me it's hot. It's hot.
I had a couple, another podcast interview and just a couple little tech things and then a meeting. So,
okay.
Full day, but giving thanks still.
It's true. I miss everything.
Okay. So any little pauses in between, or if we need to talk aside, I will just edit those out like now.
Okay. No problem. Sure.
All right, cool. So I'll do the introduction and then kind of just lead it to you. What we want to talk about Conquerors on Stage Performing Arts Program. You want to talk about arts, like creative arts, how they could help now, be helpful now. Just let me know how to steer it.
I guess we can probably start with the program and then probably bounce off ideas of how we can go forward since.
Okay. Yeah, that's good. Yes. And then y'all are also teaching online?
Yeah, there is online teaching now, but the only thing, we are on pause for the moment due to he's trying to figure out, how to get the parents to come in and meet payment, because it's private. So have to figure out if to wear it or.
Yeah. Okay. So I won't really talk about that part.
Yeah.
Until it polish up kind of thing. But I would just mention that you're a teacher at Windsor. So let me do the introduction and let's go into it.